All right, so guess we are back. Great. So, anyways, welcome. This is Aluminum Tower. We're going to be doing the reading for sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant for the month of April 2026. I'm going to go ahead and switch things up a little bit different, make things a little bit differently. So instead of doing the Celtic Cross, I'm going to do just 3-card spread, build upon that, and then from there, do the reading from that point on. So hopefully things go well. If you like what you see here and you'd like to support the channel, please just give a like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell, leave some comments. That's pretty much it. What I can also say is for the other readings, I do believe that I mentioned that there was supposed to be a full moon in Libra for this particular month and season. And hopefully this will give people insights onto their personal relationships, things that are going to need to come in or be removed. I remember Bobble Jolie mentioning something about this as well in her readings. So that said, hopefully this will be an occurring theme for you for this particular period in April. That said, we're going to go straight into it. I'm going to start with basics. We'll start with the recent past. We have the Ace of Swords in the reverse, and we also have the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. Go ahead and clarify that so that way we can get a little more information. Clarify the recent past. Hangman in the reverse. So there's a lot of reversals here. There seems to be an issue here where there's not a lot being spoken or said. So if you were dealing with someone and they have cut off communication, or perhaps there was no exchange of dialogue that needed to take place. Because what we have here, when we have these 3 cards, we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. That's not speaking, not communicating, things not being clear. You have the 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. That is also about not wanting to cooperate, not wanting to work with other people. And then you have the Hangman in the reverse, which is talking about a person who refuses to see things from someone else's perspective. I'm not sure if that was you or someone else that you were dealing with. I can quickly clarify just to see. Is the Scorpio behaving this way upright, or is someone else reversed? Yeah. So this is someone else behaving in this manner. Whoever you're dealing with seems to be like a massive piece of work, because they don't want to work with you, don't want to cooperate, don't want to communicate, don't want to do anything else that's going to help to build the relationship. And in doing so, it sabotages the efforts of these people, of you with this person, and it doesn't allow for you to build a solid or steady foundation. Tell me a little bit more about this individual. Yeah. Someone that you're moving on from at this particular point in time. They were just very stubborn, obstinate, not the most scrupulous person, not a very good communicator. I'm getting that expression again. It always pops into my head when I have to, say in the nicest way possible that someone's like thick as a greenback. Thick as a greenback butty or something like that is one of the expressions in the North. It's like a person who is just really, really difficult, very, very stubborn, very stupid, or below average intelligence when it comes to a lot of things that they do in their life. And this probably created a lot of chaos for you in the relationship that you had with them. This could be anyone. This could be potentially a family member, it could be a significant other, a boss, colleague, someone where it was like, what the fuck are you doing? And why are we hanging out? Why do we even share the same space, breathe the same air if you're going to behave to me, if you're going to behave like this to me in such a manner? What I see moving into the present for the month of April, you have several cards where we can talk a little bit about their meaning. We have the 8 of Cups, we have the star card, which I need to cover up because, of course, YouTube being Schrodinger's, virtue signaler. We have the 9 of Swords. And then we have the Hierophant. So in this, you're learning a valuable lesson about the person that you're moving away from. The lesson that you're learning is that, number one, you do need to walk away so that you can find something more fulfilling. In order for you to collect 9 cups, you must walk away from the 8 cups from the past and move forward to those mountains. The mountains in the background are telling us that the journey is not going to be very easy, but you will eventually find it. Furthermore, with that, you have the Star card, which I have to cover up, which tells us about, in the reverse, it's about something where you're not necessarily guided in a proper manner to receive what you want. Star card is about being grounded, healing, having one foot in the water and one foot on land. This is the same kind of pattern you see with the Temperance card, with the Archangel Gabriel, having one foot in the water, one foot on land. It's about being balanced between heaven and earth, and in doing so, giving balance to the objective that you have in mind. With the Temperance card, it's going to be like balancing things out, creating a kind of alchemic process and allowing you to create new solutions. With the Star card, it's going to be about guiding yourself using the light of the North Star. And additionally, being vulnerable after a tower moment, being able to heal from that tower moment and to move forward in life. In the reverse, that's telling us that's not going to happen. And additionally, it's saying that something can feel quite hopeless. So you're moving away from something, it feels hopeless, you have a lot of stress and mental issues that have come about because of this. However, you have the Hierophant card here, which is something where you're learning the lessons. It could be, for example, learning about some of the things that you're moving away from, which in turn create a space for you to learn the lesson and cut the cycle off so that it's no longer affecting you in the way that it normally does. So instead of being stuck in a situation with a person who is that difficult to deal with, like deliberately stonewalling any efforts to build a healthy or positive relationship, you're moving away from it. It's painful, but you are learning from that experience. That's kind of what I get from those 3 cards put together. After that, we have new cards here. 6 of Cups, we have the 10 of Swords, and Judgment, again, another card where you have to cover it up because YouTube. 6 of Cups is about receiving a soulmate, looking at a situation with a bit more maturity and a bit more lightheartedness, being emotionally balanced because there's the 6 of Cups, 6 being the number of harmony and peace. So it can be harmony between 2 people, or it can be harmony within the self, between your head and heart. And you're doing this now, you realize that the worst part is over because you've moved from the 9 in the present to the 10 of Swords in the future. That means the worst is over in the near future in April. And then you'll have finally a resurrection of your life, letting go of the old dead things, and finally resurrecting yourself from the confinements that you had, dealing with the obstinate individual that was in your past. This is going to help out quite a bit because it will be freeing. Normally when you have the Judgment card, the people are coming out of their coffins. Archangel Gabriel is blowing its trumpet and finally showing to people that it is time to release yourself from the confinements of your old dead life. And in doing so, by leaving this individual, by leaving the space, if this is a job or if this is another type of area that it applies to, and not just a person, you are now looking at it saying like, yeah, I had to let that go. I lost it, but I'm going to be able to live my life more authentically. I'm not going to have all of this excess baggage with me as I carry it into the new, the new phase of my life, and things will hopefully improve for the better. So in saying that, they do. That's the good part. So when we look at this, we have the Six of Wands. That's the victory card. And then we have the High Priestess in the reverse. So I see that as a person who is finally seeing that the steps that they take after that Five of Swords moment, which comes before the Six of Swords, the Five of Wands moment, that comes before this, the Six of Wands. It's like you had to go through a lot of the turmoil, the chaos, the crazy situation. And now that you stepped out of that, you're finally moving into this revelation that things are finally improving, getting better. You're able to communicate with yourself more authentically. You're able to finally get out there, actually involve yourself in the rest of the world, and you're finally using your intuition to guide you. So you have both the High Priestess in the reverse and the Moon in the upright, which Moon can talk about fears of opening yourself back up to love, because you're now moving back into the Page energy, which means that things are starting afresh. With the Moon, there can be a sense of, do I have what it takes? Is this really going to work out for me? Why do I feel so nervous about engaging in this? But it's going to work out in your favor, because we do have the Six of Wands as the outcome card. So as time passes, you'll be able to see more of this. We do have hold the space for love as your oracle message. And what this tells us is that when you can accept yourself, when you can kind of let go of the things that happened in the past, forgive yourself for those things that you may have done on your end, which may or may not have led to the discomfort that you feel in your life. You're now able to see things in a more balanced, level-headed way. You're going to be non-judgmental about yourself. And you'll finally be able to step into this energy, which talks about the signifier here, which is the Queen of Wands. This is in the Torino deck. And normally the Queen of Wands is a person is a woman or a feminine energy that's very alluring, and they typically allow themselves to be seen by others, courted by others, and to attract those, healthy things that they want in their life without fear of the consequences or reprisal. So when you do that, you're going to step into this more passionate energy. That's kind of what I see happening, going from, beginning to end. It's like releasing the dead weight from your life and then allowing yourself to look into your future and see like, hey, I'm free. I can finally go for those things I wanted to do, take those courses, date these specific groups of people, and to get this kind of job with this level of certification that I can finally undertake. So whatever it is you're leaving behind, it's like from Salve to Coagula, you're finally moving from the hardened mass of a stagnant life into something that's more fluid, dynamic, and positive. So where are we at here? Got a little bit of time. Maybe I can do a little bit of story time. We can see. When it comes to letting go of things that no longer serve you, for example, if I was in a job and I could tell that that job was doing what it could to let me go or to let other people go because they had a certain number of people they needed to lay off, or a certain, group of people they didn't like because they weren't as compliant. You can tell when the energy shifts and when the dynamics change within a specific environment. If it's a person that you're dating, you can tell when they go cold or when they're not really feeling you and not really enjoying your company, for whatever reason it is. But instead of holding on to the idea that you can make something based on an ideal that you carry within your heart and that is not actually present in the current moment, in the current zeitgeist of whatever it is that you're undergoing, when you can say, I need to walk away, I'm moving out, like for myself, when I walked away from the jobs, when I let the jobs, I didn't try to cling to the job or beg for it back or anything like that. That's when I started to find stuff that was way better. When I was in a relationship, the relationship was going very poorly, and instead of holding on or clinging to the relationship, you trust, you have faith that the universe will send you something better later on. Take that leap forward, and that's when things start to improve dramatically. And that is how you work with energy when it comes to manifesting something better. You have to let the old die. You have to let the new be born. And in that in between, there is a fear and an uncertainty that things may not work out. That's where you'll be in the month of April, where it's like, you're not sure if this is going to work, but I'm going to trust and take control and do it anyway. So that way I can have that victory, which is destined to become a part of your life. And by doing that, that's how you move forward. Anyways, I'm going to wrap that up. Thank you so much. This is Aluminum Tarot. If you like what you see here, again, just support the channel. And until next time, love and light.